Hi there everyone, my name is teacher Ilona Smith. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today grade 11s, this one's for you. Marketing function. Now this is a very long chapter. It's a lot of content. This is going to be one of the longer videos. So strap in, get ready, and let's go for a ride. Alright, grade 11s, continuing with term 2's topics, we have marketing function. Let's dive in. So just take note that I make use of the DBE, the Department of Education textbook, and in this textbook I've made use of the content to make the slides for the video today. I have not changed it a single word for the reason that the learners must study it word for word and write it as such, word for word in the exam. Therefore, changing the content might change the context and disadvantage the learner, which is not what we're doing here on this YouTube channel. So I've made use of that textbook. I know some schools are using the notes. Just be careful and just make sure that you are studying what your school prescribes, as some of the information might differ slightly, not by much, but there might be a slight difference. But you're more than welcome to watch this video for understanding of the topic as a whole. Alright, in today's video, we are going to be looking at marketing as a topic, the product development policy, the pricing policy, the distribution, and then the communication policy. Alright, just a quick introduction. So you did this topic in grade 10. I'm not going to read through all of this information on the slide, but you did this in grade 10. But the difference is you did it as 8 of the business functions. So alongside with financing and general management, you also did marketing. But now in grade 11, we are looking in further detail into the topic. We are diving a lot more with information. So we're looking at the marketing mix. We're looking at product plus distribution as well as communication. All right, so starting off with the meaning of marketing. Marketing refers to activities a company undertakes to promote the buying and selling of a product or service. The marketing we can look at, if you go onto Facebook and you see a product being advertised there, that's a form of marketing. Marketing includes advertising, selling, and delivering products to consumers and to other businesses. At its core, marketing seeks to take a product or service, identify its ideal customers, and draw customers' attention to the product or service that's available. So when we are looking at specifically that word ideal customer, so now we may have a lot of customers, but we need to look at who is our ideal customer. So let's be honest, most of you are high school students. So if someone comes to your school and they are promoting and advertising pension funds, are you their ideal customer? No. Okay, why? You're still high school learners. You don't even have your first job. You can't be thinking about retirement. As much as, yes, it will become a thought in your mid-20s, but right now, most of you are between the ages of 16 and roughly, let's say, 19. So you're not really looking for retirement packages. But if they come to a school and they are giving a speech to the teachers, yes, those are our ideal customers. So just be careful when you're looking at both. When we say ideal customers, not everyone is our ideal customer. We need to look at the target audience too. All right, moving on. The role of the marketing function. So what do they do? What is important if you are working in marketing? In order for a business to achieve its goal of adding value to its investors and investment, an important function of marketing is to locate the customers and to retain their loyalty. There's no point someone buys our product once or twice and then we never see them again. We need to retain their loyalty. The marketing function assists businesses to achieve this goal. It creates value for the business by connecting potential customers, there's that word again, with the product or service of the organization. Here are some of the roles of the marketing function. So we need to identify the needs of the customer, determine the value they place on getting those needs and services satisfied. So if you're looking at a customer and you're providing a service or a product, some people would be willing to pay thousands of rands for that, while other people are not willing to pay that. So there's our distinguisher that we need to see what is the value that our customers are placing on receiving this item. Perhaps you're looking at getting extra classes done. Are you willing to pay 150 Rand? Or will you be more willing to pay 400 Rand for an hour? That's where we're placing the value. Now, obviously, depending on the service, depending on the product, will change that value. Some people are very happy to buy Louis Vuitton products because they know the quality coming with it. Other people would say, you know what, I'm looking for a handbag. It doesn't have to be a Louis Vuitton handbag, and I'm not prepared to pay that price. And they're happy to buy a handbag at any retail store. So we need to see where are our customers lying, and that's where marketing comes in. We need to share the information gathered from customers with the production function to ensure that the products and services offered meet the customer's expectations. We need to promote the product or service that the business offers to potential clients and customers. We need to provide feedback from customers about the products or services and identify areas of improvement. So, in my class with my learners, when we were going through this topic, we discussed the product Prime Energy Drink. So there was huge hype, and people in South Africa were going crazy about it, and everyone was queuing last year when Prime came out. But where is Prime sitting today? Are people still flogging out and buying it? Are a lot of people buying Prime? Is there craze about Prime? No, there isn't. And one of the things that I personally believe that they could have done better when it comes to their marketing is they've got about 5 or 6 different flavors. I think it would have been better had they every 4 months brought out a new flavor. So when Prime came out, right, they bring out the original. 3 to 4 months later, then there's a huge hype because now they're bringing out the next flavor. And then a few months, I think that keeps people's interest. It keeps people excited. There's constantly new things. But with Prime bringing out all 5, 6 flavors at once, I think there was maybe a bit too much. And it didn't keep that spark and that interest and that what is Prime going to do next kind of vibe, if you know what I mean. So there we need to look at how can we improve. Perhaps we're not doing enough on social media. Perhaps we're not looking into doing nice, awesome ads. That's where we need to look at the improvement. We need to shape the experience of customers, what they have after the products are delivered to them. So another very good example is what Checkers 6060 is doing currently. So what they're doing is they are selling little kiddie bikes that are made exactly like the adult ones where they come and do your delivery, firstly. Secondly, they now are selling helmets, so the little kiddo can have his bike with his helmet on, safety first. And then the third thing recently that they've done is they've actually brought out onesies that is like the uniform. And I've seen a lot of TikTok videos where parents will actually have their kid all kitted out with their helmet and their onesie and their little scooter, and then they will help the delivery guy actually offload everything. And if you think about that, that is shaping the experience. We can still buy groceries at Pick n Pay, at Woolworths, at Spar, but is your kid getting the same experience? No. So after the products are delivered, your kid's going to still talk about it. Maybe you take photos. Your kid's going to go then tell his friend. Do you see how the simple act of delivering groceries has now become a whole experience that this kid's going to talk about, that you're going to talk about? Marketing. All right, marketing activities. There are 6 of them. Okay, marketing activities refer to the process that a business implements to increase their market share and to enhance their brand and image. Marketing activities play an important role in the success of businesses. Efficient marketing activities ensure that the brand and the image of the business remains in the customer's thoughts. So we have financing, standardization and grading, risk-bearing, storage, buying and selling, and transport. Let's dive through each of them individually. Standardization and grading. Standardization refers to the process of ensuring that goods are produced to the same standard in terms of size, weight, and color. There should be no differentiation in terms of the product. Again, If I'm going to go buy Doritos chips today, they should taste the same way they tasted today if I go buy them 6 months or 5 months from now. So that's where the no differentiation comes into play. And again, we need to have some sort of standard. So if we're saying a 2-liter cold drink has 2 liters of juice in it, they all need to have 2 liters of juice in them. Okay? Same when it comes to the weight. All right. The quality of the final products can be measured against the predetermined standards. For example, all 55-inch TVs will look the same. They also need to all be the same size. I can't be buying a 55-inch TV and it's actually 25 inches. Okay, problems there. Products that cannot be manufactured according to predetermined standards are graded according to the quality of the product. Okay, this example is coming next. There are products that are harvested from nature and made available to customers. These are fruits, vegetables, eggs, and corn. So we cannot produce our products to make them all look the same, correct? If I'm going to have an apple tree, all those apples are going to grow slightly differently. Okay, I think you've seen when you bought a bag of apples, yes, you are buying a specific brand, you're buying a specific type of apple, but let's be honest, all the red apples look slightly differently. They're all not bright red because we cannot determine how nature is going to produce it. So what we do here is we give it a grading level. So we'll say it's a grade A, grade B, grade C level. Obviously grade A being the best. I know with eggs as well, you get grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, which determines the quality of the eggs. Storage. The large-scale production of products requires the storage of such products. Storage refers to the act of keeping products at a facility for safekeeping preservation after the manufacturing thereof. Like, for example, a storage facility. Storage ensures that the sufficient product will be available to meet the demand of the products. It ensures that products are preserved to meet future demands. All right, the Simba factory. They are making thousands of packets of chips, of Simba chips every day. They need somewhere to keep these chips. This is where the warehouses and the storage facilities come in. This is also part of marketing. We're going to get to a bit later, but if the warehouse has the branding and the logo and the everything, then that is also part of marketing, the way that we store the products. Okay. It also bridges the gap between production and consumption. You are not going to eat the Simba chips that get made today. You're not eating them today. Okay, so we need somewhere to keep them until they are consumed and bought by the customers in the retail stores. The storage facility will be influenced by the type of goods that must be stored. Okay, we are not storing meat, dairy products the same way that we are storing packets of chips. Okay, so our meat products need to be in fridges that remain cool. Same when it comes to the transportation of such products. We need to keep these things in mind. Speaking of transport, transport refers to the movement of products from one place to another. The large-scale production of products requires them to be transported to markets all over the country. Transport also makes it possible for certain products to be exported to other countries. It ensures that the final products meet the customer when it is required. Different modes of transport are available to manufacturers. So we have road, sea, air, pipeline, and rail. Okay, very simple. The first bullet there, we are moving products from one place to another. Where would that be? From the warehouse to the retailer, or perhaps from the warehouse straight to the consumer, from the manufacturer to the wholesaler to the retailer, right? So that's the importance of the transportation. Now, we all know we've been driving on the road. We've driven with mom, dad, auntie, granny, right? We've seen a Coca-Cola truck. I'm sure we've seen an Albany bread truck. So that's a form of advertising because while they're transporting it, they're reminding you of their product. Financing. This refers to the act of obtaining finances to ensure that businesses can operate effectively in pursuit of the organization's objectives. The business acquires funding from financial institutions, investors, to expand, maintain operations. Okay, if I'm going to start a business, I'm going to need money. Where do I get that money from? Financial institutions such as banks. Loan financing is available from financial institutions, but it must be repaid with interest over a certain period. Equity funding is available from private investors in return for a percentage of ownership of their business. A nice example here is the program Shark Tank, because there they advertise their business and then they get investors to invest in their business. That's how they get the financing, but then they get a percentage ownership of their company. Okay, personal debt funding is referred to as the ability of an individual to finance business activities through either credit card facilities, retirement funds, or home loans. Risk bearing. Investments in business opportunities are subject to constant risks despite the prediction of positive results. I may believe in my product and think that my product's going to do amazingly and the sales are going to be skyrocketing, but that's not always the case. So I need to understand that starting a business, as great as it may seem, as I can see the positive results in the future, I need to understand that in the beginning, that's not always going to be the truth, is that there is risk to bear. Perhaps people don't buy my product. Perhaps it booms and it does very well, and then a few months later, no one's buying from me. Okay, who is bearing the risk? The first risk bearer of a venture is the entrepreneur and shareholder of the business. Why? Because they're the ones starting the business. They are the first ones involved in the business, so of course, they're going to be the first ones to bear that risk. Risk bearing provides businesses with the opportunity to reduce losses incurred should a business venture not succeed by sharing the risk with another party. The first risk bearer, that's a repeating bullet. Insurance companies are prepared to share certain risks with the entrepreneur and shareholders. So you can get an insurance company to also share that risk with you. What risk are they most likely going to share? Is perhaps if there's theft in your business and you need to recover the stock, or there's fire, or there's damages. Buying and selling. Buying and selling refers to the process of exchanging goods and services for money. It's an integral part of any business activity. If I have no product to sell, then what are people buying? Okay, that's what's an integral part. It's very, very important. Buying and selling in a business. Manufacturers would buy raw materials, convert them into finished products, and then sell these products to the consumer. Consumers buy the finished products for consumption. All right, the product development policy. Product development is an important function of every business. It's continuous and it's a dynamic process. It's continuous, why? Because I can't just make one product and know that it's going to last well and do amazingly for 50 years. Let's look at Coca-Cola. Yes, they had Coca-Cola as a standalone for many years. But then they started coming out with new products. We had Coke Light, Coke Zero, there's Coke with no caffeine, there's vanilla Coke, there's cherry Coke, there's lime Coke. I could go on. Okay. So they need to stay constant and they need to stay relevant because times are changing, technology is changing, people's preferences are changing, the competitors are changing. So in order to stay relevant and stay up to date, we also need to continuously develop our product. A successful business needs to improve on its current product and develop new products to remain competitive in the market environment. Most large businesses have an assortment of products in the market and are constantly engaging in designing and developing new products. A new business needs to find the fastest and most effective way to design and develop new products. These products need to be designed to suit the needs of the target market and the customer. Okay, now the meaning, that was a bit of background, the meaning of the product policy. The product policy is the first component of the marketing function. It is the main component of the marketing function because no product means no business. The policy explains how a business is going to develop a new product, design, and package. The product policy deals with the features, appearance, and benefits of the product itself. So let's look at this for a second. In one of my previous videos, I spoke about passion shoes. I'll put the link down below. I would definitely recommend that you go check them out. So they created what I would call is convertible high heels. So you've got a flat shoe, then they've got a sole stabilizer. There's like a little piece by the sole of the foot, and then they've got the heel that actually clips in. And you can unclip that heel, you can put a stiletto, you can put a wedge, you can put a block, you can even make it flat. So I think that's quite cool. But now let's go back a second. So the product policy explains how a business is going to develop this product. So they needed to have some kind of product design. How is the design going to work? How is it going to work that all these shoes mechanically can clip into each other and that the heel will be stable to walk in? Because the last thing you want is unstable high heels. High heels are difficult to walk in to begin with. Now we have high heels that are unstable. That's not going to be good for the business. We need to also look at the design. How are we going to package this product? Okay. Types of products can be divided into two main categories. We have industrial goods and consumer goods. Industrial goods are used in the manufacturing process to produce other goods. For example, we're looking at spare parts, equipment, machinery. Whereas consumer goods are goods that satisfy the needs of the customer. So now we're going to dive further into customer goods. All right. So consumer goods, we're looking at convenience goods, shopping goods, specialty, and unsought goods. All right, let's look at convenience goods. Okay, consumers are not willing to spend much effort on buying convenience goods because they differ very little when it comes to price, quality, and satisfaction that it provides to the customer. These are low-priced goods purchased by customers without much thought. So examples of convenience goods is bread, milk, and soft drinks. These are normally like everyday grocery items. Okay, let's look at the price of bread. Yes, there might be a difference between one brand to another brand, but we're looking at 1 or 2 rand. And let's be honest, bread is bread. Okay, I do have my favorite. My favorite is Albany. But at the end of the day, bread is bread. Like, I am going to be able to make a sandwich that tastes good, whether I buy Sunbake, Sasco, Albany, or Blue Ribbon. Right? That's convenience goods. Shopping goods, on the other hand, these goods are more expensive than convenience goods. Customers do not buy them very regularly, and they are prepared to spend a considerable amount of time and energy going to various shops until they are sure that they are going to get the best value for their money. Examples include a TV, a motor vehicle, a car, or clothing. Okay. I would say it's important for these consumer goods to make sure that you know examples, because I've noticed a lot of past papers, especially with Section A, they like to ask, bread is an example of what type of consumer good, okay, which would be convenience goods. Then specialty goods, these goods usually have a specific brand name. Consumers know exactly what they want and they are willing to search until they find exactly what they are looking for. Examples of specialty goods include jewelry and branded clothing. Services. Services are not tangible. Services are rendered by service providers to consumers. Examples include garden service, even getting your hair cut, going for a massage, anything like that includes a service. Unsought goods. Goods that consumers do not think of until the need of such a product arises. Examples are funeral services, encyclopedias, fire extinguishers, and reference books. Just to add to this, I thought it was very clever. My learners actually did this as a role-playing class. It was very fun. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm sure they did too. And they all reported back on one of these consumer goods. Anyway, the one class actually mentioned that the masks during COVID were an example of an unsought good. Because let's be honest, we never as South Africans used to wear masks before COVID arrived. And now, again, we're going back to the notes. You do not think about it until such a need arises. So the pandemic struck and COVID was very rife in most countries. Now we are going out and buying masks. Why? Because the need is arising. And I thought that was very, very clever and smart that they thought of that. Purchase of unsought goods may arise due to danger or a fear of danger. Okay, product development. The importance of product development. Product design is a process used to design goods that suit the needs of customers. If the product design does not suit the target market, there will be very little demand for the product. Businesses need to develop new products in order to replace older products when the sale of goods declines. Businesses are able to remain competitive because they are always on a lookout for ways to improve their products. Products become different from those from their competitors. Product design. Product design starts with the development of new and innovative products. The process of designing a product begins with an idea and it follows through to the evaluation of the idea once it has been designed. Product design is normally the first step in the product lifecycle because it needs to be adapted when sales start to decline at the end of the product lifecycle. Okay, just in short, the product lifecycle is when a product gets introduced. Then after the introductory phase, it goes into the maturity phase, and then the declining, and then the exiting of the market. I might be missing a phase, but essentially that is the steps. So we need to look at a product when it reaches maturity, which means everyone knows the product, they are buying it, sales are coming in at a constant flow. Before it hits the declining and exiting stage, we need to look at strategies on how to keep that product within circulation and keep that product in the market. So that's where product design as well as product development become very, very important. Again, I'm going to go back to the Coca-Cola example. Coca-Cola celebrated their 100 years being around a couple years ago. I don't know where we're sitting at now, how long they've been around, but they've been around a very, very long time. And people are still buying Coca-Cola. And you would ask yourself, after like 100 years, how does this business still stay constant? Because they are looking at their design, because they are staying relevant with the times. It's actually interesting to look at all the different types of sizing of Coke that you get nowadays. You get the cute, I call it the little baby one. It looks like they took a buddy and they like squished it. I think that one's about 230 mils. You get the little baby one. Then you get the can. Then you get the 1 liter, the 2 liter, the 2.5 liter. So they're doing that to cater to a lot of different markets. Oh, and you get the buddy, which is 500. So you get so many different types. And then I believe it was very clever of them because they're also targeting different audiences. So you get the regular Coke, which is a little bit cheaper thanks to sugar tax. You get the Coke Zero, which is a little bit more expensive, but health conscious. You get the zero caffeine. I know at one stage they even had Coke Life. I don't know how well that did. But you see how even though their product reached maturity, because they kept on bringing out new products, their life cycle continued and never did they reach the declining and exiting phase. All right, the steps of product design. Product development helps businesses to produce products of good quality, which can provide maximum possible satisfaction to the customers. Product development helps to expand the market of the product, and it can increase the profit earnings of the business. Okay, cute little diagram that I found from the DBE textbook that goes through every single step of the product design. We're going to dive into them in further detail now. All right, the first step is generating a new idea. We need to come up with some kind of idea of what we are going to be marketing and what our business is going to be about and. A business should aim to identify opportunities that competitors have not done yet. Ideas of new products can come from this. Okay. A need needs to be identified. Okay. With the high heel, the passion shoes I spoke of, there was a need. A lot of girls love to wear high heels. It looks stunning. It looks nice in photos. But give it 2-3 hours and like we're done with heels. Our feet are done. Our legs are done. And what do we normally do? We bring flats and we move to flats. If your high heel shoe can move to a flat in one evening, everyone's going to want to go for that, right? So that's exactly where the need came in. Also, it makes a lot more sense in the cupboard to have one pair of shoes with 7 pairs of high heel clippings versus 7 shoes. It takes up a lot less space. I know the heels literally are this big, and they even come in a little carry bag as well. Okay. The results of conducting a SWOT analysis, looking at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for the product, using creative thinking techniques, solving a problem, researching the market. If someone else has come up with this idea, will our business really become popular? Probably not. Analyzing market trends, doing competitor research, and looking at staff and customers. Okay, now that we've generated an idea, we need to now screen and evaluate this idea, because not all ideas are great ideas. Let's just be honest. Screening means that the newly generated idea is critically evaluated to see if there is a need in the market and whether it could be workable and profitable. The business needs to decide whether the product can be developed at the right place with a suitable profit margin. An innovative idea should lead to a profitable product. Testing and developing. Part of the stage is deciding whether producing the chosen product would be profitable within a reasonable period. The product life cycle of some products is very short, so new products must be profitable within a relatively short time. The market will also be tested in this stage. Businesses must determine how the product will provide the necessary benefits and how best to produce the product in the most cost-effective way. Possible cost, revenue, and profit need to be analyzed. Customers' reactions to the product must be measured. Okay, so testing and developing. Okay, so I've been talking about tangible products, more like clothing, like with the shoes and stuff. But think about your food items. If I'm going to make some really cool fudge cake, I need to see that customers actually like it. Is someone actually going to buy this if this goes onto the market? So that's where I think it's very important where it says customers' reactions must be measured. So most customers are like, it was a good concept, but it doesn't taste very nice. Then I need to look at improving it and changing it. But if they love it, that also gives me some market research that I can continue with this product. Business analysis. Business analysis of a new product should include a system metrics to evaluate the success of the product. The profitability, break-even point, sales volume, and final selling price are determined in this stage. Market testing. The actual sample of the product is tested in the market, and the responses from the market testing are then used to make the necessary adjustments. Technical implementation. During this stage, systems and processes are put into the production planning and control processes. Planning, scheduling, and monitoring and quality control are worked out and put into place for production. The technical implementation includes analyzing the product ideas in detail through a process of research and development, converting product ideas into drawings and designs. These drawings and designs are usually done with the aid of computers because computers enable designers to create multi-dimensional drawings and designs of what the actual product will look like. And then obviously we need to do quality control. Commercialization, actually putting it out there into the world. During commercialization, the product is launched and marketing and advertising campaigns are implemented. Marketing of the product should initially focus on informing consumers about the product because it is still in the introductory phase. Later on, as the product becomes better known, marketing efforts could become more aggressive to persuade customers to keep on buying the product. Very important here when it talks about aggressive marketing. I must say, the marketing team of Nando's, you are doing some good work out there. Like, I always love Nando's ads, Nando's billboards, Nando's posters, because they always touch on areas where you probably shouldn't be dabbling into, but they always make it funny and memorable, and that's what I love about it. And I saw a Switch ad very recently, Switch energy drink, about the whole we need to switch on because the whole workplace was looking tired. And then they also touched in a few areas that's a little bit, let's call it touch and go, because they were talking about Home Affairs and how they should switch on, and Home Affairs is now actually working well. And so we need to look at our marketing, and sometimes a bit of controversy marketing actually does well for our business, but it could be the downfall of our business too. So it's a very fine line. Okay, commercialization includes production of the product, packaging, and distribution. This stage requires a lot of capital. The reason it requires a lot of capital is because we actually have to produce all these products, so we need to get that. Financing, that we spoke about earlier. All the packaging for the product and the people that are going to package the product. And the distribution, the transport, moving it from place to place and storing it and all of that. All right, product packaging, the purpose of packaging. Most products need some type of packaging, which can vary from a box to a label. The type of product will determine the type of packaging that's needed. Again, let's go back to our example. We are not going to package our meat products the same way we're packaging perhaps shoes or makeup. We need to look at the type of product and make sure that we are ensuring the safety of the product with the packaging. Products need to be contained in the packaging. Some products need to be protected from germs, breakage, moisture, and damage. So for example, eggs are packaged in containers that are designed to ensure little to no breakage when handling. Other products are packaged to attract attention, and this packaging can then be used as a sort of a marketing tool. Okay. Just interesting food for thought. Also had this discussion with my grade 11s in class. I personally believe that we should relook and repurpose the packaging of bread, because I don't know about you, but the time that I go from pick and pay to coming home, which is virtually 5 minutes, that bread does not look the same. Like, it's all, I don't know what to call it. But perhaps we know how fragile bread is. Like, one little squish and it's done because it's so soft and fresh. But then shouldn't we look at better ways of packaging it so that it doesn't get crushed? I was watching a video where they were packaging Dorito chips, and the reason they put the nitrogen, the reason it's filled with air, is so that when it moves from one place to another, that it doesn't actually crush the chips inside. Because nobody wants to open a packet of crushed chips. Let's just be real with each other for a second. But why are we not doing the same thing for bread? So, just a food for thought. I thought it was interesting, and I've never understood why the packaging is so thin for loaves of bread. It baffles me, but maybe one day in the distant future we'll look at different packaging for bread. I don't know. The packaging should have information about the product, which includes any harmful warnings and dosage requirements. The packaging can also show the brand and the trademark of the product. It is the SABS requirement in South Africa for all food items to have the ingredients listed in the packaging. Okay, let's go a little back. SABS stands for South African Bureau of Standards. We will do this in more detail in production function, which is the next chapter. All right. So it is the requirement of the Bureau of Standards for South Africa that we have to show all the ingredients. The reason being is because if someone is eating a particular item and they're allergic to peanuts, it's going to be very harmful for them. It's also very important that even if the production of peanuts is getting done in a factory and they are making bread in the same factory, that we mention that in the same factory, peanuts are being produced where this bread was produced. The packaging for designer clothing, perfume, and jewelry is carefully designed as part of the marketing of the product. Some small products are packaged in larger containers to create the perception that they are bigger. For example, a SIM card for a cell phone is small, but it is packaged in a much larger container. Packaging is usually designed to make the transportation of fragile items easier and safer. After a product has been designed and developed, the business must decide on the best way of packaging it. Oh, my friend, the pizza box. I must say, I gotta love it, right? That we have round pizzas in square boxes and we cut them into triangles. Whoever thought of that packaging and that design, I don't know. But it, for me, never made sense. I ate at Pizza Hut the other day. I got one of those big boss deals, I think it's called. It's that 1 meter long pizza that I shared with the family. Let's just calm down for a second. And it made sense to me. The box was rectangular. The entire pizza was rectangular. And it was cut into rectangles. Life made sense. Packaging. Okay? Just a interesting one that I like to laugh about and joke about from time to time, of all the different shapes that pizza is packaged into. The purpose of packaging, continuing. Okay, packaging can be used to physically protect the product from any harm, promote the product, prevent it from getting spoiled, prevent tampering or theft of the product. That's why when you open your bread, it's got that little, it's kind of like stuck together and it kind of like rips when you open it. The same way cheese spread has that locking, what do you call it, device. So the moment you open it, then you can click the little, call it a button, right? So we can see if a product has been tampered with. Improve the convenience in the use and storage of products, identifying products, differentiating products from other competing goods, contribute to the profitability of the business through sales and use of resources, attract attention to show the value of the product as a marketing tool, link the product to the promotion strategy used to promote the product. Now, interesting on that point as well is, okay, we talk about identifying a product. Now, we all know, right, I like to think of all the chocolate aisle, because let's be honest, there's like 1,000 chocolates on sale. But when you're walking past and you see a purple chocolate, we all know it's Cadbury. Okay, we all know Cadbury is famous for its purple packaging. Yes, it's got different pictures. Yes, it's got different writing, but most of their chocolates are purple. We know Lindt chocolates are packaged in a box. They normally have their own section. Ferrero Rocher are little chocolate balls and it comes in like a whole package. Okay. So it's to differentiate it from our competitors, make it look different. Certain products will have certain different colors and they might be placed in a different section on the shelf. Okay, so that's the importance of packaging. Some people actually buy a product because it's got very cool packaging. Okay. All right, then we get the different types of packaging. So we have packaging for immediate use. This packaging needs to be cheap because once the product is consumed, we throw the packaging away. Packets of chips, chocolate paper wrappers, examples there. Packaging for double use. Packaging can be reused for purposes other than storing the original contents. Consumers will thus be reminded of the particular brand after the original content has been consumed, and then the container can be used for something else once the content is finished. Our friend, the ice cream tub. Yeah, gotta love childhood. Really opening the freezer, looking for some snack, right? And really feeling like ice cream. To which you open the ice cream container and what do you find inside? The stew that mom made over the weekend and she's packaging it to make it for another night. Like the joy thereof. So I'm sure we've all experienced that once upon a time. Another one is you want to make a sandwich. So you open the margarine. What's in the margarine? Oh, pieces of chicken or KFC from last night that we are packaging for double use. A very nice one lately that people are using for double use is the glass coffee bottles. Okay, they're very nice, and let's be honest, coffee is expensive. We're getting nice glass bottles. A lot of people are also using those for like sweets and sugar and to package whatever. So this is packaged for double use. Packaging for resale. Retailers buy products in bulk from wholesalers or suppliers. They unpack the products to sell them separately in smaller quantities. So a big box containing many little boxes of washing powder. Another nice example is a big box with smaller boxes of chocolates, and then obviously each individual chocolate. So we can sell the individual chocolates, we can sell a whole box of chocolates, okay, and then obviously they come in a gigantic box too. I must say Macro does this quite often, where they will sell like a full box of individual wrapped packets of Jelly Babies. Kaleidoscopic or frequently changing packaging, just important here, you can use either wording. I know for me personally, my spelling's not bad, but that kaleidoscopic word normally gets me, I think it's all the vowels, the A's, the E's, the I's, the O's. I'm surprised there's not even a U there. So if you prefer it, you're welcome to use frequently changing packaging instead of kaleidoscopic. Some details of the packaging change to advertise an important sporting event or competition. The container or wrapper is continually changing. So it's an advertisement of sporting events. A couple years ago, Coca-Cola was advertising the Soccer World Cup, and they had all the different countries on their labeling. They had Brazil and they had Mexico and all the different countries. Often Lay's chips advertises Messi on their packaging. So this is all kaleidoscopic or frequently changing packaging. Okay, specialty packaging. Packaging must suit the product. So packaging for an expensive phone comes in certain packaging. If you are buying jewelry, a necklace will come in a nice jewelry box. An expensive ring will come in a little ring box. Combination packaging. Various complementary products are packaged together because such products are usually purchased together. So we have a few examples here. Soap and a face cloth. Shower gel and a sponge. Matching perfume and hand cream. Another nice example here is for more the sporty kids is if you get a tennis racket, it comes with a container with tennis balls in it. Or if you're buying soccer shoes, it comes with shins as well. Okay, a nice company that does this very often, especially when we're talking about matching perfume and hand cream, we can think about Clicks. Clicks and Dischem like to do this very often, where they have it in like a package for Mother's Day or for Father's Day, where you can buy, it normally comes with a deodorant, a perfume, and a hand cream. All right, the meaning of trademarks. A trademark is a name, logo, symbol that is used by a manufacturer or business to differentiate its product or business from competitors. A trademark is officially registered and protected from unauthorized use by law. It is a registered mark that a manufacturer puts on its product to distinguish its products from other manufacturers. Once a trademark has been registered, it may only be used by the person or business that registered that trademark. All right, so interesting here. If we're looking at trademarks, if we think about the tick, we're looking at Nike. We think about the yellow M, we're thinking about McDonald's. Even slogans come in here, like, I'm loving it. We know it's McDonald's. Okay, flame grilled, it just tastes better. And I could carry on. All right, the importance of trademarks to businesses and then also to consumers. So importance of trademarks to businesses. A trademark establishes an identity or reputation for the product. A registered trademark protects businesses against competitors who will sell a similar product. A well-known trademark helps people to make a brand instantly recognizable. It offers a degree of protection because branded products can be traced back to the manufacturer. Businesses can use trademarks to market or advertise their products. Then the importance of trademarks to consumers or customers. A trademark creates a sense of security and consistency for consumers. So the security we're talking about, when I buy Albany bread, I know what kind of bread I'm going to get. Whereas if there's a new bread called ABC bread, I don't know the quality. I don't know if it's going to be nice. So that trademark and before, where we mentioned a well-known trademark becomes instantly recognizable. It also creates that sense of consistency and security. I know when I'm buying Dorito chips, they are all coming in triangular shapes, and I know the flavor is going to taste the same every single time. Customers are more likely to accept new products that are marketed under a well-known brand or trademark. It promotes loyalty towards a specific trademark and creates consistency for customers. Trademarks represent a certain standard of quality and price to the customers. The requirements of a good trademark. A trademark must be attractive from the consumer. It is important that it suits the product. The trademark must be suitably designed for the target market. It must be different from the competitors. It must also promote the image of the enterprise. Enterprises use it for display, and therefore it must be suitable for display purposes. It must be possible to link the product to its promotion strategy. It must indicate the name and the contact details of the manufacturer. Then we're looking at the pricing policy. It is set after considering the competitive situation in the market environment. We need to know whether the business is facing perfect or imperfect competition. In perfect competition, the producers have no control over the price. So the pricing policy only has significance under imperfect competition. The meaning of price. Pricing is the easiest of all the marketing variables to influence, but it is amongst the most complex decisions to make. The determination of the selling price of a product considers the cost of production. The price needs to be affordable for the customers, but also allow the business to cover its costs and make a profit. If I'm selling pancakes and it costs me R2 to make a pancake, I can't be selling my pancakes at R1. The importance of pricing. It defines the value of the product in terms of production costs and consumer use. It is a tangible price point that lets customers know whether the product will be worth their time and investment. Pricing processes need to consider flexibility, discount, territory, and life cycle status and allowance. Okay, it's a lot of words there. Basically, we need to be flexible with our pricing. So if we are selling, I'm going to go back to pancakes. If we are selling our pancakes at R7 a pancake, but it costs us R2 each, that gives us a flexibility that we can offer discounts. That we can sell the pancakes for R4 each, and we are still making a profit. And people are going to go mad because instead of the pancakes being R7, they are R4, but we are still making a profit. That's why when you walk into the shops and you see that this item is 50% less or 75% less, and you wonder how these manufacturers and businesses are making money, it's because they probably have a profit margin of 200 or 150%, and that's how come they can still make a profit even with the discounts that they're offering. The price of a product can influence the customer's attitude towards the product or brand. Pricing too high may have a negative impact or decrease in sales. If the price is too low, the consumers may perceive the product as being of poor quality. The price of a product must make provision for transport costs. The price of a product should take into account the VAT. Pricing techniques. There are various pricing techniques to determine the prices of products. A pricing strategy considers segments, the ability to pay, market conditions, competitor actions, trade margins, and input costs, and so on. It is targeted at defined customers and against competitors. Let's look at the various pricing techniques in which a business can make use of. Cost-based oriented pricing. This is a practice of setting prices based on the cost of the good or service being sold. A profit percentage or fixed profit figure is added to the cost of an item, which determines the price at which it will be sold. The cost of production and supply are calculated, and the suitable profit margins are added to determine the selling price. So again, we're looking at our pancakes. It costs us 2 Rand a pancake, and we decide to sell it at 7 Rand. We can work out what the profit margin will be of that. Markup pricing. Markup pricing is calculated as a percentage. This percentage is calculated from the cost per unit. For example, a muffin making business could calculate that the cost of producing a muffin is 15 Rand. Then they decide to put a markup of 50%. This would set the selling price of the muffins at 22 Rand and 50 cents. Customer or target-based pricing. Customer or target-based pricing is when companies set certain targets to achieve based on what the business believes customers will be prepared to pay. This type of pricing depends on the perception of the product the business wants to create in their customers' minds. Competition-based or orientation pricing. This pricing method that involves setting the price in relation to the prices of competitors. This approach is also called an ongoing pricing or competitive pricing. The more competition in the market, the lower the prices are likely to be. If the price is set at a higher level than competitors, consumers may be convinced that the product is better in terms of the quality and usefulness. Promotional pricing. Promotional pricing is a sales strategy in which a business temporarily reduces the price of a product or service to attract more customers. It is used when the price is lowered for a short period. For example, at certain times of the year, end of season ranges or old stock is sold off at discount prices. Examples include special offers, discounts that are valid for a shortened period, and your whole buy one get one free type of promotions. Penetration pricing. This happens when products are sold at a very low price to attract customers to products that are being introduced into the market. The aim is to convince consumers to buy the product. As soon as the introductory phase is over, then the price is increased. It is often used for new product and is not profitable in the long term, but it's only used as a marketing strategy. Psychological pricing, our favorite. Psychological pricing uses the customer's emotional response to encourage sales. The idea behind it is that customers will read the slightly lower price and be considered that it is lower than the actual price. So for example, the avos and apples are being priced at 6.99 Rand and 24.99 Rand, respectively, instead of 7 Rand and 25 Rand. So the customers mentally will view the 6.99 Rand cheaper than the 7 Rand. Bait pricing. In bait pricing, prices are usually set lower than the item's cost price in order to attract customers. It is used to attract customers in a shop to buy the product and other items. Consumers are encouraged to buy another product if the advertised product is sold out. Skimming pricing. This refers to prices attached to new innovative product that is considered unique and prestigious. It involves charging higher prices when the product is introduced in order to test the demand. Some consumers are prepared to pay the higher prices because such inventions have prestigious value. As the product gains popularity, the price of the product is gradually reduced. Price skimming can be successful and productive in the short term. So price skimming is basically the opposite of penetration pricing. So penetration pricing, we're coming at a low price and then we're gradually increasing it. Skimming, I think of like the skim or skim milk. Like it starts at the top of your coffee high and then we start moving it gradually lower. New inventions could include that, like robotic vacuum mop. I see it's still quite expensive, but maybe give it a year or two and there's new inventions and it won't be as expensive. There's a little diagram so you can see the initial price where it was set at, then the second price, and the final price that they set it at. And they do this to test the market. Then we have factors that influence pricing. Okay, the input costs. The higher the input cost, the higher the final price. An increase in the transport could increase the final price. Demand for the product. The higher the demand, the higher the production value, the lower the input cost, and the lower the final price. Target market. The income of the target market could influence the price of a product. Type of product. Luxury products can be priced at a higher rate. Pricing techniques that are used to determine the price. So if it's promotional pricing, it could be lower than demand-orientated pricing. Competitive and substitute products. If there are similar products that could replace a product, a high price may result in a loss of sales to the substitute. If the price and demand for complementary goods increases, the other products may increase at the same rate. So for example, if the price of computers and keyboards may increase at the same rate. So people know that they need to buy keyboards when they buy computers. So if keyboards are increasing, then the computers are also going to increase too. Okay, the economic climate and availability of goods and services. If there is a shortage of a certain product, people are prepared to pay more for it. Okay, forms of markets. The following forms of markets will affect the pricing. We spoke about it earlier, perfect and imperfect markets. Okay, perfect competition. It means the number of buyers and sellers is large. Products are similar. There are many substitutes. So for example, if we are buying shares on the JSE, it's many buyers, many sellers, and there are many different shares that we can purchase. Monopolistic competition. There are many suppliers and sellers. Each supplier will have a particular brand or product. So restaurants like McDonald's, Burger King, and Steers. There are many different suppliers. Oligopoly. Only a few suppliers, sellers control the price of products. Products are homogeneous, which means they are the same. So we're looking at MTN, Vodacom, Cell C, Telkom. They all service providers providing us the ability to phone, text, and use internet, and we buy the data and airtime from them. Then we have monopoly. Don't confuse monopoly with monopolistic because they are not the same. There is only one supplier and the seller controls the price and products. Profit margins are usually higher because consumers do not have any other alternatives. And the example here is Eskom. Just in case there's confusion, the reason Eskom is here is because they're the only supplier of electricity. If we're looking at solar and gas, that is a different thing. We are talking about electricity as a whole. There is no other substitute, no other business providing us with electricity the way Eskom does. Then we're looking at the distribution policy. The products have been developed, we've looked at, they've been produced, they are priced. Now they need to actually be made available to the consumers at the right place and the right time. Products need to be distributed to the target market in the best possible and convenient way. Intermediaries, we can also call them middlemen, assist businesses to distribute and sell their goods and services. We're looking at intermediaries a little bit later. The meaning of distribution. Distribution, we'll be talking about a place, is the fourth P in the marketing mix. Distribution is about how the business gets its goods and services to the customers. Products are either get directly sold to the customers or we make use of intermediaries. There are different channels of distribution. The distribution channel is the communication path in which the product is moved from the producer to the consumer. The channel is the most effective and cost efficient for the product and it reaches the target market. A distribution channel is made up of many businesses that help move the product from the producer to the final user or consumer. It starts with the producer and ends with the final consumer. The main aim of a distribution channel is to ensure that the right product is available at the right time. There are three kinds of participants in a distribution channel. We have the service provider, intermediaries, and customers. Direct and indirect channels of distribution. When direct channels of distribution are used, producers sell their goods directly to the customers without using any intermediaries. The goods move from the manufacturer or producer to the consumer. So, I'm not sure if this is done, but the Simba chip factory in Isando, if I go buy chips from Simba factory themselves, that is direct distribution. We didn't use any intermediaries. It was not taken to a warehouse and into a retailer and. Whereas indirect distribution channels are used, the manufacturer or producer makes use of intermediaries, or middlemen, to distribute and sell their goods. The goods move through the hands of the agents, wholesalers, and retailers before they get to the final consumers. All right, here's a little table comparing the differences between direct channel distribution and indirect channel distribution. They do like to ask us a lot in exam papers, I've come to notice. So let's look at direct channel of distribution. So the manufacturer carries all the risks, okay? The reason being is because it's not getting taken to a storage facility, who will then obviously shift the risks. This channel of distribution involves the producer and the consumer. I mentioned that it goes from producer straight to the consumer. The wholesaler and reseller are cut from this process. Marketing and selling of products to the consumer without involving the middleman. Manufacturers take full control over the product and marketing. It ensures a better end user price as there are no intermediary costs that get added along the process. Direct channels provide immediate feedback. More specialized employees who are trained are required in this type of distribution. Then we're moving over to indirect channel of distribution. Risks are shifted to intermediaries during the distribution of the product to the end user. There are middlemen between the producer and the consumer. The wholesalers and retailers act as negotiators between the producer and the consumer. Specialized agents deal with customers. Very little feedback is given from customers because it's not the actual producer getting feedback directly from the customer. So they might not even know if it's a good product or not because they're not actually interacting with the customer one-on-one. Storage and transportation is taken care of by intermediaries. Manufacturers make use of middlemen such as wholesalers, agents, brokers, or retailers. The manufacturer is not knowledgeable about the distribution of the product. Products may be expensive as costs of all the intermediaries are added in between. Now let's look at the different types of channel of distribution. Okay, now it doesn't say it here, but these are all of the indirect channels of distribution because we spoke about, I see that first one, we're going from manufacturer or producer to consumer. So that one is direct. The rest have middlemen. The moment you've got one person in between, it becomes indirect channel of distribution. So we've got manufacturer to consumer, manufacturer, retailer, consumer, manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer, consumer, manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer, manufacturer, agent, wholesaler, retailer, consumer. Also a nice question they like to ask too. Okay, manufacturer to consumer. This is known as the basic channel of distribution because the goods move directly from the manufacturer all the way to the consumer. Manufacturers advertise and sell the products themselves without using any intermediaries. So for example, if a farmer is selling his fresh produce directly to the customer, that is direct distribution, manufacturer to consumer. Manufacturer, retailer, consumer. This is called a single distribution channel because the goods move from the manufacturer to the retailer and then are sold to the consumer. Retailers take the responsibility of advertising and distributing the goods to the consumers. So your example of retailers here is Spar, ShopRite, Pick n Pay, Woolies. Then we have manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer, consumer. This is known as the traditional channel of distribution. The goods move from the manufacturer to the wholesaler before it is bought by the retailer and then finally bought by the consumer. For example, wholesalers such as Macro buy in large quantities from the manufacturers and then they sell them in bulk to retailers. Retailers will then sell them in bulk in units to their consumers. Then we have manufacturer, agent, wholesaler, retailer, consumer. This is the most complicated channel of distribution. It's also, if you notice, it's one of the longest, which means could be expensive pricing because we're adding all the intermediaries in between. The goods move from the manufacturer to the agent, then to the wholesaler. From there, the goods are then moved to the retailer, and then only finally after that, they move to the consumer. All right, now we're looking at the reasons why a manufacturer would choose the direct distribution method versus the indirect distribution method. So the direct. Manufacturers have control over the product and the marketing. They achieve better end users prices, as we've said before, because there's no intermediary costs added in between the process. The business does not need to share its profit margin with its intermediaries, and the products become very expensive once we've added all of the intermediaries into the markups. There is direct contact with the target market for feedback and improvements because our customers are coming to our business, we're seeing them face to face. Sales staff provide customer information for further market research. Selling through the internet allows smaller businesses to market their products all over the world. Business websites can serve both as distribution methods as well as promotion methods. Well-trained sales staff are able to promote products effectively and establish good relationships with customers. Suitable intermediaries may not be available, and may not be willing to sell the particular product on behalf of the manufacturer. So now we're looking at reasons why they will prefer indirect distribution method. The experienced agents deal with customers, which allows them to focus on the core issues. Transportation and storage is all taken care of by the intermediaries. There is no need to hire specialized staff to do the sales complaints. They do not have to deal with customer complaints. They enjoy the benefits for bulk orders from wholesalers. And then better market coverage is achieved. Intermediaries understand how the market operates. Consumers are often spread across the country, therefore distribution needs to be widespread as well. And direct distribution requires a large investment in advertising. Intermediaries sometimes provide credit to customers, which will help to attract more customers. The meaning of intermediaries. All the people that fall into the distribution process between the producer and the consumer are the intermediaries. They are the middlemen and act as negotiators, mediators between the producer and the consumer. Intermediaries can be wholesalers, retailers, agents, and brokers. They are responsible for the transportation, storage, delivery of the goods and services. The organizations involved in the distribution channel are known as intermediaries. Now the different types of intermediaries. We have wholesalers. They buy products in bulk from manufacturers. They store them in the warehouses. Then they sell them in smaller quantities to retailers. Examples of this include cash and carry and Macro. Then we have agents. They act as representatives for manufacturers and wholesalers. They do not take ownership for the products. They create a link between the manufacturers and the retailers. They earn commission on sales. For example, the sale of cars, property, or beauty products. A buying agent has the authority of a business to buy certain products on the business's behalf. A selling agent brings buyers and sellers together and helps with the transactions, for example, like selling houses. Sometimes selling agents take control of the pricing, selling, and the advertising. Export or import agents. They ensure that the export and import process runs smoothly. Retailers. They buy goods in large quantities from manufacturers or wholesalers and sell their goods to consumers in smaller quantities. So, for example, Pick n Pay, Edgar's, and ShopRite. Continuing there, we have brokers, are sales intermediaries who don't take ownership of the product. So, for example, insurance brokers, they sell insurance policies. Wool brokers, stock brokers, and so on. They have short relationships with the customers. The relationship ends once a transaction is concluded. Sales representatives, or reps, are often employees of a business. They act as sellers or buyers for the business. Some reps are independent contractors who market the product of one or more businesses. And here are some examples of the different intermediaries that we've already mentioned throughout the section. The role of intermediaries in the distribution process. They are finding and locating buyers on behalf of the producer. They also help to promote the product. Intermediaries are specialists in selling, so the producer may be able to reach a wider audience. Manufacturers can achieve greater sales by using intermediaries. Producers may not have the expertise or resources necessary to sell directly to the public. The intermediary may be able to provide more efficient distribution logistics, so for example, transporting the product to various points of sale. Overall distribution costs may be lower using the intermediary than if the business had to undertake the distribution itself, even if the intermediary is taking commission. So sometimes it might be cheaper to use an intermediary than to do our own distribution, even if they are taking their own commission as part of that. Some of the reasons why manufacturers prefer to use the indirect distribution channel may include: consumers are widespread across the country, which makes the distribution process expensive. Direct distribution requires a large investment in advertising. Intermediaries have an expert knowledge of the distribution. Manufacturers have no transport or storage facilities. Manufacturers do not want to deal with the end user clients and their complaints. Some businesses may make use of both direct and indirect methods in order to reach more customers within the market. The communication policy. So in grade 10, you learned about the importance of the different business functions. You also looked at the interrelatedness between the different business functions, and you also discussed the importance of public relations, learned to distinguish between internal and external public relations, and you identified and discussed the methods of carrying out public relations. Let's look at the meaning of the marketing communication policy. The marketing communication policy describes all the messages and media that is used by the business to effectively communicate with the customers. The main aim of marketing communication is to create and improve the demand of the products and services for the business. The business spends large amounts of money on developing its marketing communication policy. So, the focus of the marketing communication policy is to increase the sales and generate higher overall profitability for the business. An integral part of the marketing communication policy is the effectiveness of the communication of the product and services of the business within existing and new potential customers. Effective marketing communication must take place with customers to maintain interest in the business as well as purchasing products and services. This is directed by information based on market research that speaks to the needs and wants of the customers. Continuing with the meaning there. The business makes all efforts to deliver the appropriate marketing message to the right customer through the right medium at the right time to ultimately increase sales and profitability. The business must have sound knowledge of the demographics and psychographics of their target market to apply the correct marketing communication medium. The business uses its competitive advantage selling proposition to enhance its ability to increase sales. Consistent and regular communication with customers is a vital aspect of the marketing communication policy. The application of the correct marketing media will directly impact the degree to which the business may influence customers to purchase more products and services from that business. Just a funny little story, right? Okay. So I was discussing first term the different social media and media where businesses can obviously advertise their products. And to which I came to realize my learners don't really use Facebook, which my generation does. I'm part of the 90s group and we use Facebook often. Like I use Facebook every day. And I came to realize, no, the newer generations who were born in the early 2000s they use TikTok and Instagram, and that's where they find their advertising. They see Facebook as like an old people's device. So I'm glad to know I don't know if the word is upgraded or downgraded, but somehow I form part of this new category of old people, which is great. It's lovely. It's all types of wonderful. But again, it's a funny story, but that's exactly when we're looking at our potential customers and our clients. What social media sites are they using? Where should I be advertising my products? If I'm looking at this old generation, then I will be looking at Facebook. But if I'm looking towards the younger generations, I could then better make use of TikTok and Instagram for my advertising. Then the components of the marketing communication policy. An effective marketing communication policy is made up of 4 essential components, which we're going to go through in detail. We have sales promotion, advertising, publicity, and personal selling. And there they are in a cute little illustration down below. Okay, let's look at sales promotion. So the meaning of sales promotion. Sales promotion can be defined as various marketing methods that are aimed at improving consumer demand in particular products and services of the business. A marketing strategy used by the business to promote products and services of the business through short-term attractive initiatives to stimulate demand and increase sales. The different methods of the marketing are designed to increase sales by persuading existing and new customers to buy the product of the business. Sales promotion is used by the business to complement other existing promotional methods. It refers to short-term, customer-oriented strategies applied by the business to increase the sale of product and services. So what would be the purpose of sales promotion? The purpose is to increase and improve the number of products and services sold to customers and to increase the sales of these products and services. Inform existing and new potential customers about the products and services of the business. Build long-lasting relationships with the customers. Persuade immediate purchasers with potential customers. Determine which sales promotion method works best at reaching. Provide customers with products and services equal to the value promoted in marketing communication. Remind the target market about current and new product and the availability thereof. Reconnect with existing target markets. Improve overall brand awareness of the business with existing and potential customers. Improve customer loyalty with existing and new potential customers. And attract dormant customers to purchase products and services. Dormant customers are customers that used to purchase from us but are no longer purchasing from us. They're kind of in this, we call it dormant because they're just waiting around. So let's try and get them back and get them to buy our products again. Practical examples of sales promotion. The reason I didn't explain it too much in the previous slides is because I know it's going to kind of self-explain itself when we go through each of these. So I said we're on a long journey, right? It's been a bit of a long journey. This video is definitely the longest video in my entire channel. I thought nothing could beat grade 12's quality of performance video for the longest content. But you know what? Grade 11 marketing function, you definitely snatched that trophy and you definitely got that one. So yeah, this is definitely the longest video. So this section is, we're almost there, almost hit the milestone. But this section, going through each and every single one of these, is going to take a little bit of time. But we're in it for the ride, so let's go. All right, so first we have buy one, get one free, or BOGOF if you want to. I've never heard of that before. A sales promotion method that persuades customers to buy one product and get another product free of charge. Clicks is very well known for this. I know that they love it. They do it similar, but not quite the same. So they do the 3 for 1. So if you buy 3 products and the cheapest one you get for free, which is a similar concept. So this is one of the most common examples of sales promotion used by businesses because customers benefit from the free product as a result of their purchase. Customer loyalty programs, I think we know this one also all too well. Customers are given customer loyalty cards by the business in which they earn points on regular purchases and they may redeem these points in the future. The points redeemed by customers can take different forms. For example, it can either be discounts, reduced prices, free items, or bonus prizes. So Pick and Pay has it with their Smart Shopper, Checkers has it with their Extra Savings, Woolworths has it with their Woolworths card, and so on and so forth. Free gifts. The business provides free gifts to customers for purchasing a certain product or service. Free gifts are used to introduce customers to new products that they might not have considered buying before. I don't have this. We buy filtered water from Oasis quite regularly, and for every water that we purchase or fill up the bottle instead, they actually stamp it on our card, and then after 10 bottles you get a free bottle. So that's the free gifts there. Okay, joint promotion. This is a sales promotion method in which the business promotes 2 or more products simultaneously, which means together, usually by associating related products and brands within the business or with other businesses. This occurs when business partners with other businesses and promotes products and services together to enhance the sales and benefit all of the concerned businesses. Okay, so we are taking 2 different products and we are having a promotion with them together. The important thing to remember here is it's 2 different products or 2 different business brands. Point of sale promotion. Certain products are placed strategically in the business near the till, checkout point, or at the corner of the aisle to encourage customers to purchase these products. Promotional posters are visible at strategic places with a store to promote customers to purchase products. So this is where, like, you're walking down the aisles at a grocery store and there's those products on the side. I fell for this recently when I bought, you get that Melrose, what do you call it? It's a circular product and it's got like blocks of cheese. I don't know. Sorry. I think it's been a long video. It's been a long day. I think the mind is maybe just losing me a little bit. Otherwise I'll be fine. Let's continue. So discount and discount coupons. The business provides a cash discount coupon to customers. The customer is inclined to purchase the product and service of the business because of the discount coupon. Free samples. Free samples of certain products are provided to consumers to increase brand awareness of the product. This is done to trigger the psychology of ownership, which means that the consumer is likely to purchase the product if they like the sample. Normally this happens with creams and perfumes. It also happens if you go into a grocery store. I'm always talking about grocery stores. I'm going to give my age away again. Where they will sell a new flavor of iced tea, and then they give little samples to you so you can try out the new flavors. This past weekend, got some free coffee. I'm a huge coffee lover, so got some free coffee. It's a really nice coffee. It's a new Nescafe, so I might be inclined to buy the new Nescafe going forward because I've just had a free sample of it. Bundle discounts. The business bundles various products together and the customer is offered a discount for purchasing the entire bundle. This is an effective technique used by the business to sell older or unsold trading stock. Then we have charity promotions, a sales promotion method in which the business promotes that a portion of the sale of the product will be donated to a specific charitable cause. The consumer supports the business because of their particular interest in the charitable event, and the business in turn will increase the sales. I know my school does this a lot. We have like movie nights, and we have Civvies Day, or we were selling tickets for some events, and a portion of it, if not all of it, actually goes towards the charity to help them. Competitions. The business runs a competition with customers in which the winner will receive a special prize. The prize is usually a grand promotional item, and the business earns more sales in the process of promoting the competition. Bulk purchase deals. So the business offers a specific discount aimed at customers who purchase goods in bulk. Customers are more likely to return to the business because of the bulk deals, because customers perceive it as they're receiving a saving. Social media contests. Specific competitions to improve sales of the business through various social media platforms. The aim of this is to gain new customers, enhance the interest of existing customers, and to gain the quality of followers of the business on various social media platforms. Cashback promotions. The business provides customers with cashback for purchasing certain products and services. Customers enjoy receiving cashback from businesses and perceive that as paying less for the product. Sustainable and green marketing. A special type of sales promotion in which the business promotes its various social and environmental initiatives, investments, and causes. Like-minded consumers who have an interest in the social and environmental initiatives of the cause will support the business. Now we're looking at advertising. The meaning of advertising. Advertising refers to paid messages of communication from the business to members of the public and potential target market. It is a marketing communication activity in which the business pays for a space to promote its products and services. Advertising can be described as a paid form of non-personal marketing communication. It allows the business to communicate with many potential customers at the same time. Advertising is aimed at reaching potential customers who are most likely willing to purchase products and services from that business. It is used to influence buying behavior of consumers. Advertising creates awareness of the various products and services that are being offered by the business through creative positioning and using different advertising mediums. The purpose of advertising. The AIDA principles are used by business practitioners to explain the purpose of advertising. The AIDA principles consist of 4 stages in the advertising process. Obtain the attention of a potential customer or consumer. Spark the interest of the product or service. Develop the desire in the customer to have what is being offered, and then induce action, which may potentially lead to purchasing the product or service. And then there's a cute little diagram just summarizing what is said on the left. The AIDA principles, going through them each. So we attract. An advertisement should immediately grab the attention of the potential customer. Businesses often include advertisements as a disruption. The disruption is achieved by strategically placing advertisements in unexpected places and situations by using techniques such as guerrilla marketing. The business will use a personalized approach to attract the attention of more customers. The use of powerful words and eye-catching pictures is used to grab the attention of customers. The message used to attract the attention of potential customers should be highly creative. So there's really cool advertisements I saw just the other day for Switch Energy where they're adding a new flavor. It's called speckled eggs flavor. And I must say, I saw it on Facebook and it was very colorful and very bright. And I mean, it's something new and different. So that definitely, for me, attracted my attention. Now we're looking at interest. The vital purpose of advertising is to create interest in the product or service. The advertisement must be original, punchy, informative, brief, and result in a positive reaction by creating interest in the product or service. The interest of the customer can be captured by intentionally personalizing this advertisement. Capturing the interest of the customer is a challenging aspect because they easily lose interest in the advertisement if they don't feel it's related to them. The business captures the interest of potential customers by proving that their product or service adds value to their lives of the customer. The business must stay focused on the needs of the customers by gaining their interest and not only grabbing their attention. Now we look at desire. So we've attracted the customer, we've got the interest, now we need to spark that desire. The business can nurture customer desire after it has successfully grabbed the consumer's attention and maintained an interest in the product or service. Positive arguments are used to build up the desire for the product or service. Promoting desire can include adding additional features that the customer already knows about the product or service. Numerous benefits of the product or service are emphasized to maintain desire. So if there's a skincare product, we're going to emphasize how it makes your skin soft, how it perhaps not anti-ages you, but it helps slow down the aging process. We can emphasize on that, which creates that desire. Desire is achieved when a business can establish an emotional connection between the product and the consumer. This stage is effective in providing the platform for the consumer to make the final decision, which is then to take action and actually buy the product. Now we're looking at action. Consumers/customers are persuaded, compelled, and moved to take action. Customers who have reached this action stage have acquired a positive impression of the product that was advertised and would now like to make the purchase. The action stage is dependent on the successfulness of the implementation of the strategies used in the previous 3 stages, which customers only take action once they believe that a benefit would be gained from the product or service. Advertisements that aim to initiate action in the consumer usually have a specific call to action. Customers are compelled to take action because of low friction, but often high incentives call to action. So the call to action can be as simple as I have my advertisement and it says click here to purchase or buy now or send a message or call, and that could simply be the call to action. The financial sustainability of the business is dependent on the positive relations maintained with existing and potential customers. Then we have examples of advertising media. I've mentioned a few of them during this video, but here's a few more. So they are in 4 categories. So we have printed, broadcast, direct, and web-based media. Okay, printed media is a very common means of mass communication in the form of printed publications. Printed media is a very important part of the marketing mix as it helps the business to engage with their target market and potential target market. Examples include newspapers and magazines. Broadcast media. This is described as the distribution of audio or video content to a large audience via any electronic mass communications medium. This advertising medium is used to communicate a message of content such as audio or video programming to numerous recipients at the same time using communication network, such as television or radio. We have direct mail. Direct mail is an advertising medium that includes any physical forms of communication to existing and potential customers. Direct mail is a traditional form of advertising that uses strong call to actions to initiate interest in the product and service in an interactive manner. So here we're looking at brochures, pamphlets, billboards, and then directories. Web-based media is a form of advertising and mass communication that uses the internet to advertise the product and service of the business. This advertising medium involves the process of advertising the business using various online platforms through the primary aid of the internet. Examples include websites, online magazines, search engines, banners, email, and SMS. And then there's just a screenshot of all of the different types of advertising and within their categories. Publicity. The meaning of publicity. Publicity can be described as a free form of non-personal communication that a business and its products and services can receive through various forms of mass media. Publicity creates public awareness of the business, its products and services through media coverage and other forms of communication. It refers to unpaid communication in the mass media about the business and its operations. Publicists help to manage the publicity of the business to increase positive publicity and reduce the impact of negative publicity of the business. It is in the form of mass communication that is not paid for by the business, but it involves gaining responses from customers through the placement of commercially significant news in the mass media. Continuing the meaning there, publicity is not paid for by the business and comes in the form of journalists and other members of the press. It is often considered to be part of the public relations of the business. Publicity places the business in front of the media outlets for the business to showcase its products and services. Publicity is important because it helps the business increase awareness, while establishing a worthwhile business from which to purchase products and services. Publicity provides the authority of an independent voice, as the business cannot control the message provided about the business from members to the media. All right, then we have examples of publicity. So we have internal publicity. This internal measures by the business to promote a positive business image, such as appearance of the store, the organizational culture, and so on. Internal publicity aims for the business to gain employee loyalty so that they can continuously present and portray this positive image of the business. Competitions are used to generate interest in the business and its products or services. Competitions create or promote brand awareness with potential customers and consumers. Press releases. A press release is a statement that the business shares with the members of the press or media. The aim to share this news about the business and its operations is so that the general public should know. Endorsements. An endorsement is a form of public support of the business by famous individuals such as successful entrepreneurs, celebrities, and business practitioners, in which they achieve or command a high degree of recognition, trust, respect, and awareness amongst the members of the public. Endorsements by famous individuals generate and draw attention to the business and its operations, activities, brand, products, and services. Gifts and samples. The business provides gifts and samples of existing products at various events, essentially to create this brand awareness. The target market and members of the public will test or use the gifts, samples, which they may essentially develop an interest in the business and its operations, activities, brands, products, and services. Donations and sponsorships. The business sponsors a notable charitable event and worthy cause. This can take form of sponsoring sporting events or providing bursaries to underprivileged youth and donating money to HIV/AIDS research. Social media. The business can gain publicity on social media by creating a profile of the business and slowly growing the audience through engagement, interaction of informative and thoughtful content. Social media aims to engage the audience and to encourage users to share information about the business with their networks. The role of public relations in publicity. Public relations aims to present a favorable image of the business and its products and services. Public relations strives for members of the external stakeholders to view the business in a positive light. There is a direct link between public relations and publicity. Public relations is concerned with the strategic management of information to ensure that the business achieves specific communication goals. Public relations plays a critical role in developing positive publicity and minimizing the effect of negative publicity on the business. The business can decide to manage its own public relations function or to outsource the relations service from an outside vendor because of the specialized knowledge. The public relations function develops sound relationships with the members of the media. The public relations function provides regular information to the media about the business, its products, services, and general business activities. The public relations function and marketing function are interconnected and aim to establish and build brand loyalty. Personal selling. The meaning of personal selling. Personal selling is a form of face-to-face selling in which the salesperson tries to convince the customer to purchase a product or service. It is a component within the marketing policy in which the salesperson uses their ability to attempt to sell the product or service to a potential customer. In the process of conducting personal selling, the salesperson highlights the features of the product to convince the customer that the product would add value to their lives. A customer that appreciates the personal touch and product knowledge of the salesperson would be more likely to purchase it if it is an effective sales pitch that's been provided. Personal selling can also involve demonstrating the way the product, such an appliance, works, and so on. The salesperson uses an in-person interaction with the potential customers to provide essential information on the product or service. Effective personal selling addresses the needs and preferences of the customers without making them feel pressurized to buy this product or service. A well-trained salesperson will offer the sales advice, information, recommendations, and assist them in making the decision process. So with personal selling, I've experienced this myself when I've gone to Builder's Warehouse and they're there from Verimark and they actually show you how the product works. So I was looking at buying a mop and he was actually showing me how it works, and it said personal selling, the way I think of it, is someone is selling to you personally, person to person, face to face. All right, then the effectiveness of personal selling in promoting a business product. It improves customer relationships and customer loyalty because it is an effective marketing communication tool that can be a powerful source of customer feedback. It enhances flexibility because a salesperson can target their presentations to fit the needs and preferences of individual customers. It increases immediate sales as personal selling is directed at potential members of the target market. It involves multiple sales skills such as selling and collecting payments, as well as providing marketing information. It encourages a two-way communication between the salesperson and the customer, and through this, the salesperson can provide immediate feedback to the customer. It provides detailed demonstrations of the usability of the product with the prospective customer. It increases customer confidence as the salesperson removes all doubts and misunderstandings of the prospective customer. It creates and improves brand awareness with existing and new customers. All right, we've reached the end of the video. I feel like we should get a cheer, a hand clap. I don't know at this point, but we reached the end of the video. Here is, as usual, my mind map recap. So there's all the sections we've been through, and then continuing on to the next slide, the continuation with the rest of it that we have been through. Alright, here are the resources that I've used in my video today. As I mentioned in the beginning of my video, please go check them out. They have really nice activities, and I am a huge fan and lover of the textbook. I just think it's so awesome with all the activities and exam prep that it offers. I just think it's really amazing. I want to say thank you 100 times for all the support on my channel and for watching this video today, for staying throughout the whole video. It's been a very long video. It is a very long chapter, which means I believe it will be asked in June because there's so much content. I will do a video focusing on exam guidelines and the different parts of the exam and how the structure is. So do check that video out when it comes out. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing to my channel, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.